I'm Mark.
And I'm Josh.
And this is Alter Ego Comics TV for the week of May 18th, 2016. The day that Civil War II, number 0, comes out from Marvel. That is the 800-pound gorilla this week. Written by Brian Michael Bendis. Artwork by Olivier Coipel. The team behind House of M. If you're old enough to remember that, or if you've read it. So, Civil War II. If you picked up the free comic book day prelude, you may be a little confused because I think that takes place somewhere after this 0 issue. But this definitely sets the stage for what to expect with Civil War II. There's a lot of talking in this issue, and if you're not okay with that, well, that's just too bad, because it's Brian Michael Bendis and he writes the best dialogue in comics, or some of the best dialogue in comics. Not sure how this is all going to play out, but it looks like, at least according to the teaser images, we're going to end up with Iron Man on one side of an issue and Carol Danvers, Captain Marvel, on the other side. But She-Hulk is definitely a player as well. And an interesting turn of events for James Rhodes, War Machine, setting up some possible storylines for him down the road, which are very intriguing.
And not the turn of events you saw in the
movie.
No,
or in the prelude, yeah. So, if you're a Marvel fan, this is a must-buy. You absolutely want to check out Civil War II, number 0.
Yeah, the original Civil War was grounded in tragedy, the event that kicked it off. But this is more of a natural evolution of what the characters believe. And so, I mean, a lot of this is philosophy. I mean, the whole Jennifer Walters stuff at the beginning is her stating a position that obviously someone's going to take an opposing view of, and then there's going to be punching.
Well, and Carol Danvers is the same way. I mean, she presents her position without us really having an argument yet. But I enjoyed it. It was great.
Yeah, it's good. My pick of the week this week is Brian Wood's The Black Road, a Magnus the Black mystery from Image Comics, with art by Gary Brown and, oh god, the names are all jacked up on here. Okay, yeah. Art by Gary Brown. There we go. They put the artist first. I didn't know what to do. This is really, really good. I think Brian Wood, in the same way that Ed Brubaker was just born to write noir comics, Brian Wood writes sort of gritty, real-world stuff better than anybody. So this is 1,000 years or so ago, Vikings, the church is making its claim. There's murders, there's blood. It's just exceptionally awesome. I grinned from ear to ear the entire time I read the book, even though
because there were murder and blood.
Oh, it's dark and really not pleasant necessarily, but it's just written so well. It evokes the time period. You care for these characters that we have next to no background on, and he just builds them really well. Yeah, if you're enjoying Vikings or Game of Thrones or anything at all, if you enjoy things, check out The Black Road, because it was great.
Oh, Old Man Logan, number 6. The series I think I've talked about every issue that has come out. This is part 2 of a new storyline where Logan has gone to a secluded Canadian wilderness that's kind of a mining town that gets cut off from the rest of civilization for 3 months due to an ice road, and he has sought out his wife in his future from his timeline, who in this timeline is a little girl, and he's made it his mission to keep her safe. So what happens when Wolverine goes to a secluded Canadian wilderness area? Some bad guys follow him, and he does a poor job of keeping everyone safe. But this is a great Wolverine story. Lemire is really killing it with the dialogue and with the overall story. And as I've said many times, Andrea Sorrentino is born to draw this book. It's definitely a shared effort here between writing and art that makes this comic so awesome.
And in the Wolverine verse, also out this week was All New Wolverine from our boy Tom Taylor, which, if you read that, by the end of it you see the next issue is going to be a crossover with Old Man Logan. So if you like Old Man Logan, you might want to pick up this week's version to know what's going on when the next one comes out, where he'll be on the cover and stuff. Next up for me this week, we've got Deadpool, Last Days of Magic #1. That's right, Josh picked a Deadpool book. What of it? You want to fight? Written by Jerry Dugan with art by Scott Koblish. This is tying into the Doctor Strange Last Days of Magic thing in a real tangential sort of way. I mean, it's definitely the same story, but it's not something you need to read if you've been reading Doctor Strange. But you may enjoy it. There's definitely some cool stuff happening. But essentially, Deadpool teams up with his buddy, who I don't actually know who this guy is. They keep calling him, dude with a beard and druidy stuff.
That was the guy from the first story arc.
Yeah, but I don't know what his name is.
He resurrected the dead presidents.
Yeah. So anyway, that guy from the first story arc. And Deadpool drags him in because he needs help with magic, which is this dude's forte, to a certain extent, fort. And he is trying to protect his wife, Deadpool's wife, the crazy monster lady who runs a secret magic town underneath the city. We got the ghost of Ben Franklin, and just 8 kinds of awesome, fun, ridiculous stuff. Important stuff if you care about all of the characters in the Deadpool verse. And yeah, it was just really cool. I was incredibly surprised. I read it mainly just on the off chance Doctor Strange was going to pop in. He doesn't. But a lot of other characters, Brother Voodoo and other Marvel Magic-y people pop up. And it was good. It was actually, it wasn't as ridiculous as I expected. There was a lot of emotional resonance. It was a solid kind of one-and-done Deadpool story with potential ramifications for the Deadpool verse. Because that's what the Marvel Universe is now. It's just all Deadpool. Gwen pools, all sorts of pools.
Thanks, Marvel, for putting a character on the cover that doesn't appear in the book.
Yeah, Doctor Strange not even in there a little bit.
Well done.
Although, that might be J. Jonah Jameson.
Could be. He's wearing Doctor Strange's
He's got
pajamas.
a soul patch.
Alright, DC Comics has made a big hullabaloo over the relaunching and reimagining of some Hanna-Barbera characters. And the first title out of the gate is Future Quest. Issue number 1 is out this week. This is written by Jeff Parker with artwork by the 1-2 punch of Doc Shaner and Steve Rude. And this is, first off, a beautiful book. Those two guys on art means that you're going to get an amazing looking comic. Basically, this stars characters from Johnny Quest, Space Ghost, Birdman, and the Humanoids. And it is a big, rollicking good time for anybody that grew up with these characters on Saturday morning cartoons in the 1960s.
Well, they were on reruns forever.
They were on reruns forever. And then even, I think that there's kind of a cult following from Adult Swim with Space Ghost Coast to Coast and Harvey Birdman, Attorney at Law. And so there's definitely some crossover appeal with this. However, don't pick this up thinking that you're getting Harvey Birdman, Attorney at Law, because it's the original incarnation of Birdman superhero. This is right up, as I said, anybody's alley that grew up with these characters. Amazing wraparound cover by Doc Shaner. Just so good. I may have misspoke. The cover may be by Steve Rude. I can't tell.
But still good.
So yeah, the first out of the gate is Future Quest, and then we've got Scooby-Doo and the Apocalypse or something.
Scooby Apocalypse.
Scooby Apocalypse with character designs by Jim Lee, where it just looks like it's going to be wacky, crazy fun. And then we've got Wacky Racers, which looks kind of like Mad Max meets Hanna-Barbera. Yeah.
And then the Flintstones is in the new catalog.
All the Flintstones as well, yeah. So anybody who's a fan of old Hanna-Barbera stuff, time to go back to the comic shop.
Last up for me this week, we've got May, written and drawn by Gene Ha, published by Dark Horse Comics, and we've got a pull quote on the cover here from none other than Mark Waid. A beautiful, riveting work of comics art that I would recommend to anyone. And I concur, Mr. Waid. This is, so you've got your traditional kind of girl gets lost in another world stories like Alice in Wonderland or The Wizard of Oz. And this is the story of what happens to the other people. This is what happens to the people who are back on Earth and suddenly their friend disappears for months or years on end. A girl's sister has been gone for about 7 years, and suddenly she reappears with magic axes and talking about crazy crap from another dimension. And apparently some of the things from the other dimension have followed her back. And it's a lot of fun. There's a lot of really good interpersonal dialogue. The familial relationships and the friendly relationships are really well defined. And I really like the idea of this random other universe that she's coming back from, and we just get, they don't bother explaining any of it. They just kind of throw snippets here and there and let you kind of build it in your head. And it was just a lot of fun, you know. If you like some more fantastical elements in your family drama, this is where you should be looking.
Cool.
May.
Well, we hit lots of different publishers this week. Dark Horse, Image, DC, Marvel. All kinds of cool stuff for you to check out at your local comic shop. Next week, of course, the 800-pound gorilla will be DC Universe Rebirth, which comes out on May 25th, and I'm sure we'll be talking about it then. So until then, if you like this week's episode, please give us a thumbs up and comment below if you have anything to say, and we'll see you next time.